Hey guys, what is up? Welcome back to my channel. Today I have another book haul. I should stop buying books, honestly, but here we are. Don't know why it's only been 2 months since my last book haul and I've already accumulated way too many books. It's not nearly as much as my last haul, but something like that. I post book and sometimes beauty videos, and if you'd like to join the family, then just hit the subscribe button. Also, if you haven't already and you want to check out my social medias or see what I'm up to on a day-to-day basis, Instagram and Twitter are the best place to do that, just at Kendra Cus. But yeah, without further ado, let's get right on into it. I wonder how many people I annoy with my casual switching to random accents. I don't know. Okay, I want to start off with, well, I have one more that's almost just maybe the same amount of exciting as these two. But these two come with a story, okay? And that is the Strange the Dreamer UK hardback Illumicrate edition. So these have sprayed gold and sprayed silver edges, which matches the metallic print on the books. This is obviously by Laini Taylor. So I've never gotten an Illumicrate box, but I don't remember how, but I'd seen on Twitter that they had said they were re-releasing it, and so I put that alarm on my phone because I don't have this series already and I haven't read it yet still. Trust me, I plan to before the end of this year, but I haven't read it yet still. And I was like, you know what? If I'm gonna buy the books, which I already plan to, let's just freaking go all out and buy the ones that I want to buy, which is this gorgeous set of UK hardback Illumicrate metallic sprayed edges editions. Okay, so I went on the Illumicrate website as soon as they were dropping, and the entire website was glitching hardcore. So then I was in a load stage after added things to my cart for 20 minutes, and then I was like, hey, something's wrong. So I checked their Twitter and they were like, we're experiencing crazy amounts of people on the website, and so we're glitching, please bear with us, we're gonna get these to work. So then mine didn't add to my cart and it reloaded and it said they were out of stock, and I was like, are you kidding me? I was here right at the time, and then it turned out that it was just a glitch. Anyways, added it to my cart, finally got them an hour and a half later after starting the process. That's how long and how many people were on the website, how long it was glitching for. And they're gorgeous. I'm really excited to read this series. Most of the people I know love it or really, really liked it. Only a few people didn't like it or thought it was overrated. But I think I'm gonna like it. We'll see. I think I'm gonna like it. Okay, let's just talk about this next one next because it's so beautiful. This is the Crooked Kingdom Collector's Edition. I think that's what it's called. Obviously by Leigh Bardugo. It's sprayed black edges, and it has these gold and black, well technically yellow, whatever, maps on the end pages, and it's just so stunning. It has different symbols than the Six of Crows Collector's Edition, which is black and red. They are stunning. They're probably one of my favorite things on my bookshelf to look at, especially this one because I just love black and gold so much. And obviously this is one of my favorite books of all time, top 3 favorite books of all time. So I had to get this. I remember when it was first announced and I pre-ordered it, and I think it was 2 months before it even came out, and I was so anxious to get it. I just was like, is this gonna freaking come already? Anyways, let's move on. The next book in my haul of books is The Tower of the Swallows by Andrzej, I don't know how to say the first name, Sapkowski. This is the Witcher series. It's funny because I bought this because it was on sale. I don't remember where, but I don't even have the 3rd book, and this is the 4th book. And I actually just finished the 2nd book, but I'll probably do the 3rd on audio anyways. I still would like a copy, but we'll see. Anyways, just thought I'd mention I love this series. So the next book in this haul is Serpent and Dove by Shelby Mahurin. This was our Overhyped Book Club Book of the Month for September. So we did a whole live show on this. All of us really, really enjoyed this. Spoiler alert, we did. It's not my favorite book of all time. I definitely see some faults with it, but I thought it was really cute. I loved a lot of the characters, and I definitely think this is a very strong debut novel by this author. If you didn't know what this book is about, it's about a witch in a country taken heavy inspiration off of Paris and France, all things French, and she is on the run from a lot of different things which you discover throughout the book, and she ends up in a marriage of convenience with a witch hunter. So she obviously doesn't tell him she's a witch, and obviously there is some love. It's a very, very cute. It's a very different because the boy is actually a soft boy, and it's so cute. But he's like a soft boy, but also like very rough around the edges. I don't really know how to describe it, but I feel like it definitely created like a new genre. It's more new adult than young adult, in case you were wondering, but there's not really a lot of explicit content. There's a couple of curse words and one scene that describes things a little bit more, but it's so good. I highly recommend this. It was a pretty quick read and I enjoyed almost all the way through, so yeah. Okay, so the next book I've already talked about a lot on my channel, and that is The Diviners by Libba Bray. But this is a really funny story, straight up Kendra being a clown story, and I want to tell it to you guys. So I have 3 copies of this book, and honestly, all 3 of them are thrifted or like a used copy, so I never paid more than $8 for a well, including shipping, like $12 for one book. Let me show you the original one. Sorry, I'm gonna go off frame for a second so I can grab this other one. So the first one I bought was this copy, and I thought I was a freaking champ for finding this. Like, I can't even tell you how hyped I was. I found this on Depop of all places, and this girl was selling it for $8, and I was like, oh my gosh. The hardback on like everywhere else is like $40, $50 plus because it's out of print. And then I come to find out this is surely not the original hardback, because the original hardback has like this gorgeous like Art Deco kind of print on the actual hardback itself. This is actually like a condensed version. It's similar to, I don't know if you've read or if you've felt towards the end of the Throne of Glass series where they started using a lot skinnier pages. That's how these are. They're like really, really skinny pages. It's like almost as skinny as like a Bible page, if you know what I mean. Like sometimes those like condensed Bibles have really, really skinny pages. So this is a great copy, and I actually plan on keeping this because I think if I ever were to reread it, I still might reread it out of this because it's smaller, a little easier to carry. And then I bought this copy off of Thrift Books for like $5 or something, and it's a decent copy, but I was just like, it's one of those books where it's one of my favorite books of all time. It's definitely on like the top 5, maybe top 7 at the least, favorite books of all time. And I wanted the original hardback edition, and this is a good, like, in the sense of good condition being paid for $5. It's a steal, you know what I mean? But if it's one of my favorite books of all time, I'm gonna keep my eye out on Thrift Books to try and find an even better copy. So then this one came around, and it's just slightly better. I don't know if you can tell, but like the pages are less yellowed. There's not like a stain. There's a stain on this one, and the dust jacket is a little bit nicer. The only thing is it has this like weird stain in there. But here's what the original hardback edition looks like. It has this really stunning like print on it, and I just love this book. So I'm probably gonna give one copy to my sister, or if she doesn't want it, then my sister-in-law, because my sister-in-law is a big reader too. And then I'm gonna keep the condensed copy if I want to reread it. But this is like a collector's piece, you know? And following that up, I have Lair of Dreams, also by Libba Bray. This is just the sequel to The Diviners. If you don't know anything about The Diviners, I probably should have said this before. If you don't know anything about The Diviners, it is about a couple of kids. The main character in the first novel, her name is Evie, and she has this power, I guess you could say, this gift, where she can clutch onto an item and like hold it really tight and think really hard and figure out and see memories from the person who owns the item. And she kind of just uses it as a party trick when she's drunk. This takes place in the 20s, by the way, so it's like the best time period ever. And then she ends up getting in a lot of trouble and having to go live with her uncle in New York, which who doesn't want to go live in New York as like a 17-year-old? I would have, you know what I mean? So it's actually she probably ends up liking that situation better than being back at home. And then there is also some murders going on in New York City, and her uncle and this guy named Jericho and this guy named Sam and her friends Mabel and Theta and this other guy named Memphis, they all kind of end up coming like this together in the funkiest but also smoothest ways, and she wants to help solve these murders. Anyways, loved the book to pieces. Lair of Dreams is a sequel. I obviously can't tell you anything about this because it would give away the first one a little bit, but really great book series, and yeah. Okay, these next couple of books, these next 3 to be specific, I don't know why I bought them. It's like, yeah, I wanted them, but it was definitely an impulse buy, which usually I'm not like too impulsive when it comes to purchasing books. Then sometimes I just get it in my head where I have to have these, and it's a downfall for sure. And the first one is the Modern Fairy Tales by Holly Black. This contains books that I already wanted to read, so it's not like it's like a waste of my money. Also, the fact that it's green and this is like my favorite color, and like gold on the side, it gives me a lot of like Lord of the Rings vibes just from like this alone. And obviously the dust jacket is super stunning, but this is just a collection of some of Holly Black's shorter novels. Obviously the ones that aren't The Cruel Prince because they wouldn't fit in here. But yeah, it's really pretty, and I knew I wanted this anyways, so it's not really that big of a deal, but it was 25 bucks, and this is a young adult book, so anyways, yeah. The next one, which is also an impulse buy, was Aurora Rising by Amy Kaufman and Jay Kristoff. To be quite honest, I do not know why I bought this, because I have a couple of other books by Jay Kristoff in particular that I haven't read yet. One being Illuminae, haven't even started that, and the other one being God's Grave. I read Nevernight, I just haven't finished the series yet. So I don't know why I bought this. I know it's kind of similar. I feel like it's kind of in the similar realm to Illuminae. I mean, it's by the same authors, Amy Kaufman and Jay Kristoff, and it's also a sci-fi, like space kind of book. I think if I were to read one of them first, I would definitely go with Illuminae. I've heard better things about Illuminae than Aurora Rising, but I bought it, so I had to include it in this haul. And the next one, the last one in the impulse buy stuff, is The Last Magician by Lisa Maxwell. I bought this strictly because of Chloe and Spencer, Common Spence, and Books with Chloe. They did this for one of their more recent book clubs. I think it was like within the last 3 months or so, and they both really liked it. Also, it's a time traveling book if I remember correctly, but it kind of takes place in New York City in the 20s, I think. So another one of those best time period ever of the 1920s in New York City. I truly don't know much else about that, and I kind of want to keep it that way for when I do pick it up, because I tend to enjoy books a little bit better when I don't know much about them. But it's a really, really pretty cover. I love the blue and the gold, and yeah. Okay, the next couple of books I want to talk about were inside of subscription boxes, which book subscriptions are my favorite thing. And the first one is A Treason of Thorns by Laura E. Weymouth. And I actually bought LitJoy Crate for the first time ever because it was supposed to have items from spooky things that are my favorite things of all time, like the Haunted Mansion ride at Disneyland. And also Nightmare Before Christmas, which is my second favorite movie of all time, or third favorite movie of all time, maybe the first, I'm also not sure. And so I had to have it. I already knew that this was going to be the book in it, and I'm like not thrilled over the moon for this book, but also this is a stunning cover. I don't know if you can really tell because it kind of reflects, but this is a stunning cover, and it's not that long of a book, so I definitely see myself picking it up. It's only 340 pages, picking it up at some point and reading it. I think it's about murders that are going on in these houses or in these mansions, and obviously there's some cute romance and stuff. This was the print in the book, so I think this is our main character, and yeah. Sorry that I never get into super deep summaries with these hauls, but it's kind of like I don't want to know too much myself. I obviously read the back of the book or the, you know, the inside the dust jacket summary before I go to read the book, but that's like all I want to know, and obviously I'm not just gonna sit here and read those off to you, you know what I mean? So okay, the next 2 books came in the same one, and these are from Owl Crate. This was the September. This is The Bone House by Emily Lloyd Jones. I am pretty excited for this, and I want to read it soon. Oh, that fell out. That came in the book box. It's a what can I think? Bookmark. And this is what the actual cover looks like. It's like black with the gold skull, and the Owl Crate edition just has a white version, which normally I would prefer black, but I don't have a lot of white books, and I want to rearrange my bookshelf soon and like put white books next to each other. So yeah, super pretty. Really excited for this. It's about a girl who loves her family's cemetery, and she like takes care of it. And there are people that are maybe coming back to life, and also there are fae involved. So fae, we love fae. And also in that same book box, Owl Crate included The Haunting of Hill House, which is not a super long book, and I really kind of want to read it because I've heard insane great things about the Netflix series, which I still haven't watched yet, so don't spoil it for me. And yeah, I've heard it's a really good book too. Also, this is a special edition, I think, of Penguin Horror Classic, but I think it's the first like time they released this particular edition. It's really cute, very Halloween-y, love it. The next book is this gorgeous Harry Potter and the Prisoner of Azkaban illustrated edition. I know that the Harry Potter and Goblet of Fire illustrated edition was just released maybe about a week ago. I cannot afford to buy any more books at this point, and I'm currently halfway through rereading this. So when I'm done, maybe that's when I'll pick up the Goblet of Fire. These are expensive. They're like 40 bucks, I think, or 40 bucks. But I've never actually seen them listed for that price. If you go to Barnes & Nobles, they're 50% off usually. Always buy them on Amazon because they'll be like $22 rather than $40. I bought this on Amazon for $22. I was buying one of my cousins a gift for her birthday, and she loves Harry Potter as well. So I bought her the first book in the series, and I was like, man, I'm already rereading the series myself. I should just buy the Prisoner of Azkaban since that's the next book I need to read. So it's so pretty. I don't want to spoil anything for you because one of my favorite things while reading this is like seeing the illustrations for the first time. But I am on chapter 11 called The Firebolt, and this is the illustration on the page. Maybe I'll just show you like one more, like maybe an impressive one. Ooh, this one. No, I'll show you this one. Hippogriffs. Look at them. Look at Buckbeak right there. That's a full page illustration. A lot of times they're not full pages. They'll be like a half page or a full page on one side of the spread, you know what I mean? But anyways, totally worth the money, especially if you're a Harry Potter fan. I highly recommend these. Amazon is the best place to go for the good price. But I think currently at Barnes & Noble's, Goblet of Fire is 50% off. I'm not sure if it still is, but it was when I was just in there a couple days ago. So maybe the whole thing is 50% off. The next book I have, or graphic novel or comic or whatever this is technically called, is Saga Volume 2. I read Saga Volume 1 in September, I think? No, August. And long story short, went through a horrible reading slump in the month of September. So what had happened was, but basically it was garbage. It was just the worst month. I only read like 1.5 books, and one of them was for the Overhyped Book Club. But I didn't want to pick this up because I didn't want to do anything. Like it wasn't just like a reading slump, it was like a creativity slump, and I'm just now getting out of it. So basically I didn't want to do anything that meant creativity where I had to try. Of course, I would love to watch TV shows or movies because you don't have to try really. But when it came to books and writing and all that stuff, I just went through a horrible slump. I'm really happy to be out of it. I think I'm gonna start reading this soon. I think I'm probably just gonna read it this entire weekend so I can get it done in the month of October. And yeah, I really liked the first one. The next book I bought is for this month's Overhyped Book Club book of the month. I was gonna say pick and then book, and it just turned into book. Hope that's not a bad word because that kind of sounds like a bad word. Okay, anyways. Ninth House by Leigh Bardugo. If you guys didn't know, Leigh Bardugo is a phenomenal writer most of the time. I just didn't enjoy her first series. The Ruin and Rising, Siege and Storm, Shadow and Bone, that's what it's called, Shadow and Bone. But I know that they were like the beginnings of her writing, and Six of Crows is one of my favorite series of all time. Specifically Six of Crows and Crooked Kingdom, like on their own, are two of my favorite books of all time, but especially Crooked Kingdom. I know I said that earlier. I'm really excited for this, but also really scared because I've heard this is very, very, very dark. It's about this girl named Alex who is the only one left in this murder. Like, she's survived somehow this murder, and then Yale reaches out to her and gives her like a full ride scholarship, and so she goes from living in California over to moving over to Yale and living there, and then getting caught up in this world of like dark academia. There's these cultish things going on, and I'm nervous and excited. I know there are a lot of trigger warnings, so definitely look those up if you have not read this book and you need to know the trigger warnings or you're worried about something. I would definitely look it up. But yeah, this book was expensive, but I think because I pre-ordered it, I got a discount. I paid like $18 for it, but it is an adult book, so it's $28 on its own, US. So this next book I bought specifically because I was watching one of Kaylin Abridged videos, and she was talking about how like her favorite classics, and one of them was We Have Always Lived in This Castle by Shirley Jackson. This is the coolest cover ever because it's so Tim Burton-esque, and if you guys know, that's one of my favorite things ever. And it's not a very long book. I think it's like 140 pages. I really want to read this before Halloween, so I'm going to fit this into my schedule. I'm gonna hope to accomplish it in 1 or 2 days tops. So thank you, Kaylin, for recommending this in your video. I'm not really sure what this is about, except for I have some sort of haunted mansion thingamajig, and I'm here for it. So that's why I bought it. The next book is one of my most recent purchases, and that is There Will Come a Darkness by Katie Rose Poole. I don't know too much about this. I know it's really good from what I've heard. I think my friend Katie from Katie's Book Nook has read it. There's a couple other people that have read it. I know it's intense the entire way through, and you're always wondering what's gonna happen. I think it is about these prophecies and stuff like that, and I'm really excited. I know a lot of people just loved it, and I had to have it. Also, I know this is gonna look great on my black and red shelf. Okay, so I actually just discovered this store in one of the cities close to where I live called Painted Garden or something like that. And it is a used bookstore. Sometimes they have new books, but for the most part they are used and they are still in insane condition, and you get them for such a good price. So one of the books I picked up was Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows, which I already had my own copy of, but not one that looked this good. This was $15, and it's literally in like perfect condition. There's maybe this tiny little yellow stain, but like even the pages aren't yellowed. Like everything just looks so good, and I'm really excited that I have this. I ended up giving my other copy of the Deathly Hallows to my sister because I was like, I only need one copy, and this is in perfect condition. The next one I bought from that store is Flame in the Mist by Renee Ahdieh, and I'll tell you why I bought that in just a second. But anyways, this cover is stunning, is it not? I really don't know anything about this book other than the fact that I think it's a girl on the run, and it has deckled edges. I really like deckled edges. It's also not terribly long. I think it's a little over 300 pages, little less than 400 actually. And the cover is stunning. But the main reason I bought that is because I had just bought The Beautiful by Renee Ahdieh, and I had heard a lot of good things about it. So I was like, hey, why not? This was back on Tuesday. I was like, hey, why not? Let's buy this one too, because if I like this one, then I'm gonna wanna read that too, right? Well, I ended up loving this, and I don't wanna get into too much, but I need to write my review actually, because chef's kiss, I loved this so much. I can see why it might not be for everybody, but I adored it. This is about a girl named Celine who just experienced a very traumatic thing back in her hometown of Paris. So she flees, and she gets on this boat that takes these young girls to New Orleans, where they live at this convent and pay back by working at this convent the fee of them having, you know, moved from the UK or Europe over to New Orleans. And it takes place in the late 1872, yeah, the late 1800s, and it is so good. It's about vampires and so many other things, and I don't want to get into too much because I'm going to talk about this in my wrap up, and I loved it so much. But obviously there is a love story. It's really cute, and I really love this. I cannot wait for the next book. I can't believe it's a whole year away. I'm crossing my fingers that I can somehow get an arc of it before then, but yeah. Okay guys, so that is going to be it for today's video. This video was so long, probably way longer than necessary. I know I shouldn't be buying these books, and honestly I'm actually on a ban right now. Except for next month, whatever we pick for the Overhyped Book Club. If I don't already have that book, then we're obviously going to have to buy that book. But I cannot wait to get into all these books for the ones that I haven't read and for the ones that I have read. I just think they're great. And yeah. Again, if you haven't already, just check out my social medias if you would like to see what I'm up to on a day-to-day basis. If not, that's fine. But if you would like to, at Kendra Cus, Twitter and Instagram is the perfect way to do it. And also, don't forget to read Ninth House this month and tune in to our live show, which is going to be on Wednesday, October 30th. Slight change of plans, but that's it. At 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I believe that is 4 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Figure that out wherever you live, if you want to watch it. But yeah, don't forget to check that out. Anyways, I'm gonna let you guys go. Have a great morning, noon, evening, day, night, whatever happens to be that you're watching this video, and I will see you in my next one.